this is literally what I want you to do. Like, I want you to ask questions
Right on.
so you can get all the knowledge. And like, it's great because like, if I think of a topic, like I'm just thinking about it from one angle, like when I speak on YouTube, right? But like, this is why I want to do the series because like you're gonna have questions that like I'm not thinking about it first because when I'm talking on a video, I'm not actually talking to a person. I'm trying to amalgamate like a broad topic, right? And because like I don't know who I'm talking to on the other side. I hope they're decent and they want to run, but um, when you ask the questions, it actually gets me to pull more insight and actually make this a lot more customizable. So totally happy on this regard. So all that to say, ask questions. I'm good. So for here, I might go 4 times 10 minutes at tempo on 2 minutes. So we're building up here. And then how many weeks out are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're coming in close here. So um, this I might do. I really like this one. This is a fun one. 20-minute warm up, 2 hours alternating 5 minutes M/5 minutes E, 20-minute warm down. So it's just essentially a sneaky way to space out fatigue and get 60 minutes of marathon pace in it in a 240 run, right? So like you're getting decent volume, you got an hour marathon pace in there. That in and out type nature is pretty fatiguing on the legs. It sneaks up on you, but it's also a workout that I find you can feel really good in and crank. So do not crank that workout because it is one that you can kind of cheat. But if you're in a good spot, your workouts are going well, it's a really fun workout.
And so let's say, workouts are going well in your build toward the end. At some point, presumably you could potentially, your fitness can go up. How do you know when your like 5K pace is getting faster or when your marathon pace can get a little bit faster? I mean, is it all based off of perceived effort or
Yeah. So
essentially?
it's a good question. Very rarely will I see the need to really boost workout paces in a marathon build because the fatigue is super high. Now, that said, the way your race is structured in terms of like the count back of weeks, you guys are going from like hot to like temperate, right? So I would say you're naturally going to get faster across the build, even at the same effort or lesser effort, because you guys have quite a big temperature swing between September and December, right?
Yeah,
So
we have,
that's
yeah.
probably a bigger factor for you guys in Oklahoma than it would be the actual need to change it. So what I would always go back to is like, is my effort right? So if it's tempo, could I do this for 45 minutes? If it's marathon pace, could I do this for 2+ hours, right? If it's interval pace or 5K pace, could I do this for, in your case, probably 18 to 20 minutes, give or take? If that makes sense, right? And you actually like you want to have the build go from hot to cold because then you get all the heat like acclimation benefits and then you get to like unload them on race day. So like when I'm coaching people for those late marathons, I actually want it to be hot for as long as possible so that way they can keep those adaptations going and then drop the temps for race day. So we did 4x10. So I might do something pretty hard here if things are going well. So 4 times 4 minutes at 5K on 2 minutes. That's like the Norwegian 4x4 you've probably heard about. Um, and then we're going 245E. You can obviously start to see the pattern, right? We're alternating interval and tempo, long run with pace. And
And so like that
so,
that 4x4 Norwegian deal, would you have a warm up and a cool down just
yeah,
like
sorry. So I've we'll make the assumption that every warm up is
everyone has a warm
10 to
up?
10 to 15 minutes, just to save time typing it out. Nobody
Yeah,
wants to
yeah,
see me
yeah.
type
I
on
figured I
Excel.
just was just to clarify.
Yeah. Please, yeah, 10 to 15 minute warm up and warm down. Um, So we've got the 245. How many weeks out now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. 5 weeks out. Okay. So we've done that. So this is where I might go to 2 times 15 minutes at tempo on 3 minutes, easy jog. We could probably keep the 75s across the board if things are good here. And then for this one, we did the 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So this is an area where I'm going to write a workout, but I just want to explain my thinking first. This is where coming out of the 245 and the 2x15 at tempo, we would have a pretty good idea at this point, like where your gaps are and what we want to work on. And we're 5 weeks out. So we've got a couple weeks to play. So this is why I'm like trying to think through this one a little bit. Whereas I could just put a workout in for the sake of a workout. But if things are going well and you've really like paced your marathon stuff really well, I might actually go here and do something like 60 minutes E, 60 minutes M, 30 minutes E. So you get a pretty long stimulus in there. Like I know if we scroll back, we did something very similar, but now you've got more volume in, right? So here you were just doing 50 to 60. You only had like a 30-minute of broken tempo. Whereas if we come back here, 75, 2 by 15 is a little bit harder. You're coming off at 245. So this gives us another check-in on marathon pace before we do our last big dance the following week. So this for me, because we had some unknowns coming into the build, it's like another little fitness test so we can make that big test a little bit better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I hesitated there, because I'm trying to think through it actually for you versus just give you like a stock, like, hey, good luck, have fun kind of thing. So 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is going to be your big last week. So I might do something like 2 times 17:30 at tempo. I know I'm kind of like breaking my rules per se, if you've seen my tempo video where I go like straight tempo, broken tempo, but just given that you're coming off this, like I might even 2 by 17 could be a good workout, but I actually might change it and do something like 3 to 4. Now that I'm thinking about it, 3 to 4 times 8 minutes on 90 seconds, just to give you a little bit of break coming out of this, hitting this. And then this is where we're actually going to go 20 minutes warm up, 90 to 100 minutes at marathon, 20-minute warm down. And so I like doing this 4 weeks out for a couple reasons. If you mess it up, botch it, or the weather is horrible, like that time of year, you guys can get some pretty big winds coming through there. I would think about like November, give or take, or like late October, early November.
Time here with the winds.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But thinking about doing it 4 weeks out, one, if we need to move it to 3 weeks out, we're golden. We've still got that other week, right? We can adjust weather, maybe body's acting up a little bit, whatever it is. 2, if it goes horribly wrong, like your stomach goes sideways for whatever reason with fueling, we've got another week to come back to it. If it goes great, awesome. We can have a pretty solid volume week coming after it and keep the volume higher a little bit longer. So that's why I do 4 weeks out. That workout, if you've seen me talk about it, it's like full race shoes, fuel, gear, everything, because that's going to help tell us where our fitness is and our race pace goals, weather assumptions aside. Obviously, if it's super hot still, you make the adjustments. I'd rather you find out 4 weeks out at 80 minutes in that is not your marathon pace than be 10 miles in, 12 miles into the marathon and going like, oh, this really isn't going well. I don't think I can do this, right? And so that 4 weeks out gives us enough time to kind of redial in. Or if it was a fueling issue, okay, we can do 1 or 2 more long runs where we test a different fuel or something. But ideally, you've been fueling the whole way, so the fueling's like locked in, and this test workout is like full race day prep, if that makes sense. So from there, let's just assume everything goes well, you nail it. I actually wouldn't come down really this week, especially because you've had a bit of a smaller build with the shin stuff. So I would keep that up. And then I would do something like 5 times 1K, or I'll put in brackets 0.64 miles at 5K. And for you, you're probably looking at like 200 to 230 recovery, easy jog on there. And then I'm probably going 2 to 215 E. Again, assumption is everything was great the week before. And the reason why we won't do anything more there, assuming things are good, is I actually want you to do 20 to 25 minutes at tempo here. And then maybe an interval session. I'm going to hedge my bets and say no, just because we're going to be tapering down, coming out a little bit. And I want to make sure you're feeling good. This one here, I like to go 90 minutes. Sometimes I will throw in 30 minutes E, 30 minutes M, 30 minutes E. But that's really like if you're kind of feeling like, I need to do a little bit more, I'm feeling a little unsure of what you want to do, or you're just getting antsy. And so sometimes I put it in there if it's a runner who like runs a little hot in their workouts. I put it in and give them actually a little bit of structure because I know you're going to push it anyways 1 week out, right? So it's a little bit of like a mental reading game in terms of how you go. Off, there we go. 40 minutes E, 4 times 4 minutes at tempo, 1 min. I go 30, 20 minutes. And then I don't know what I'd put for an answer for that one yet. It would have to be based on how the build goes. So it could be 165 minutes. That'd be pretty sweet. Maybe faster. I don't know. But I won't prognosticate on that one without kind of seeing how the build goes. But